Hello. I'm about ready to start, so I'll give a recap of what I did yesterday and just jump right into it. So, my headphones doing something weird. Alright. So yesterday I started adding some player attacks. So we already had our ground pound. I swapped the animation for the ground pound, so we're doing a front flip instead of a back flip. So it's more differentiated from our actual back flip. I added a hammer attack. We have a separate one for when we're running. It looks really janky right now because I'm just using mix-em-out animations, and they didn't really have one that really matched up with what I wanted. So that's gonna change when I actually get the new character design done and modeled and rigged and animated and stuff. And then I also have an aerial hammer attack. I'm gonna move the hit effects for when you do the hammer, so it's not like where the ground pound one would normally be, so it's like kind of where the hammer hits. So I go ahead and do that now. It should be pretty easy. Let's see. So we'll just kind of just do this to preview. Turn this one on. And then we'll just make an empty, and we'll call it hammer jump hit effects, and we'll just move it forward. Just double check it with this. You probably want it a little bit farther forward. This is one of those annoying Unity things where you have to constantly, there's not a way to like get him to hold that pose. I guess I think that looks fine. Okay, maybe a little bit back. That should be good. And then in our hammer jump attack, we'll have a reference to the location of the hit effect, and then rather than doing transformed up position, we'll do hit effect location up position. That in. We will turn off the hammer. Go ahead and save. that's better. I also thought of a thing that I might try to do to fix in our just our player character state machine class, where let's see. So the way that we're getting the camera direction, it's not quite right, because the way that the camera works, since it's on the camera rig, it can move up and down, and as it moves, it rotates. So we basically, I think we need to lerp between the cameras forward and the cameras up based on how far we are along from okay, let's look at the free look camera here. So basically we want to lerp the and it might not need to be linear exactly, but basically as the camera follows this, it's constantly looking at the player, so we basically need to figure out where along this path the camera is and basically blend between its forward and its up, because if we're all the way at the top, we want to be using the up for the forward and not the forward, because the forward is looking straight down, and when we flatten that, it becomes 0 and it just doesn't work. So let's see. So we probably need a reference to the free look camera. And then let's see. So basically, we want to get the position between the top rig and the middle rig and lerp its position from there. So let's see. Top. Let's see. I need to look at the documentation for this real fast. Let's see. So I guess we could maybe just use the heading instead of. Well, we could try it. I think the heading's a. Orbital transposer heading. Maybe not. Okay, so we have the orbits. Okay, so I think we want the y-axis. And so 0 will be the bottom rig, and 1 is the top rig. So we need to, let's see. So if we add a half, that will basically that will put it between 0 and 1.5. And then we can just clamp it, I guess. And this might not work how I want it to. Not left, lerp. So we want the forward. We want the up, and we want T. Now this might not work at all, but let's see. The goal with this is that when we're looking directly down at the player, if we press up, we move screen up, which would just be forward. I've had too many coffees today, but I'm having another one because I'm having not the best day right now. I didn't actually reference that here. So I hope y'all are having a good day. So It's not working perfectly, but that's a lot closer to what I wanted than what I had before. I think what I need to switch it from when we're at the top. I think I need to switch it from it's in this one mode that is world space, and I think we want simple follow with world up if we're in the top. Maybe not. Anyway, there's some kind of setting that we need to change when we get to the top rig that will make it follow a little bit better, but for right now, what we have is fine. So if we do simple follow with world up, as we turn, the camera doesn't rotate, I don't think. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain. Maybe I'm misremembering how that worked. And there's a lot of settings in here that we might also tweak later on to, because right now the player is basically always locked to the center of the screen, aside from the wide damping that we did, which also needs a little bit of work. So yeah, the character is always like basically dead center in the screen, aside from like the Y. So as we move left and right, you know, we're still dead center. But I think we want to give a little bit of like, you can move around a little bit within the center of the screen before the camera starts moving. Okay, so what I was saying about the world space versus simple follow with world up. So when we have world space, the camera moves laterally to follow the character, and when we're in simple follow with world up, the camera will rotate. So what's going on with that? So maybe that lerp isn't quite working the way I want to do. But I'll deal with that more later. My personal preference for how I like the cameras to work in my games is the world space. I know Mario does it with the, at least when you're not directly above him, it uses something similar to simple follow with world up. Let's see, where was I doing that? Y damping. on all 3 of these. Well, at least on the middle and the top, I had the damping at 2. But yeah, we might tweak these dead zones and soft zones for the camera a little bit later. But I'm actually gonna undo this because it's not working the way I want it to, and I'll just make a note to fix it later. Let's see. So there's still a lot of states. Not sure what the best thing for me to work on right now is. I also kind of want to work a little bit on the art direction. So let's just look at some textures from Texture Haven, get some ideas. I like sites like this because they give you a lot of options and they're free, but again, this is another one of those things like with Mixamo where they've got tons of like photo scans or textures made in Substance Designer and Substance Painter, but they're kind of more realistic. And I would love to have something like this with more stylized stuff. I might. Oh, this song is very distracting. Sorry about that. It's a funny song, not really the vibe right now. I need something more chill. Let's see. I do like the sneak. I don't think stealth is gonna be a feature of this game. I like the idea of having a sneak animation though. So there's this thing that a lot of games do. It's like, it's not like super advanced, but it is like above what level I want to get to before I get the actual real animations in. But in your import settings here, you can add custom curves and you can name them, and the animator will be able to read those curves. So you can use them in you can use them as parameters in your transitions and stuff, but you can also use the parameters to like increase the speed or mirror. So one thing that a lot of games will do is they'll basically like keep track of what the last foot that was on the ground is. So when you do an animation like this where you're like skidding to a stop, it can blend correctly from the run based on what the last foot that hit the ground was. And you can also use these curves for basically adding events for if you're doing like foot IK, you want to like, you know, keep the foot locked to the ground when it's on the ground, but you need to know like which foot is on the ground when, so you kind of have to add that in as an animation curve here. Just a little tip. I forgot to delete something when I deleted the thing with the free look. A lot of times games will also do that thing with the jump animation, so like right now he's got his left foot forward, but say his right foot was the last foot to land, you might want to switch it for the right foot forward by just mirroring the animation. There's a lot of nuance you can get into with some of these animation things. I want to add a roll. Let's see. I think Mixamo might have a better roll. So I think this is the one that I have in the project right now. And then there's also like the falling to roll. I think a lot of these are based on the same, that one's different. I'll add a roll state to my state machine. It will use a trigger. And that definitely needs to be like way faster. Maybe not that fast. Maybe like 2.7. And actually, rather than that being a trigger, I think I want to put a bool roll. just want roll is true, and then here roll is false. No exit time. And then we'll make a new state. Get to inherit from player character states. Get rid of that. Let's see. I need to go in the input settings, because right now I don't have a button for roll. So we'll use the B button on an Xbox for roll here. Let's see. Jump space. I think we'll use control. No, we're using control for crouch. We'll use shift. I don't really, actually, we want left shift. Nope. I don't really design my controls to work super well with keyboard, because I mainly do my stuff with gamepad. So then in our player character state machine, we need to add a handle roll. In player character state, we need to have a handle roll function. So we'll say state dot handle roll, and then here we'll say no, we need to do the roll in the states that we can roll from, which will be, right now they'll just be idle and walking. So we'll start with walk. And we need and then we'll do the same thing in the idle state. I'm gonna also switch in that walk. I'm gonna, rather than current state machine, we'll just do player character state machine. It doesn't really matter, but all right. So we need an enter state. We need an exit state. We probably need to have both the okay, we need an idle state. We need a fall state. And we might need a bonk state as well. So let's see. So here we'll say character animator dot set bool roll is true. Actually, we should change that to is rolling, just to be more consistent. Bool should have is in the name. It's not like the law or anything, but it certainly makes things easier to tell what it actually means. Like if it was a trigger, roll is fine because it's a verb, but is rolling describes the state better. So we want is rolling. And then in our exit state, we'll say is rolling is false. Let's see. Let's say if we're not grounded, we'll transition to the false state. We don't have a way to jump out of our roll right now, which is fine. a speed. Let's make it 10. So when we enter the state, we'll say horizontal move speed is speed. Let's see. In we'll set roll progress 0. When we exit, we'll set it to 0. And then let's see, say roll progress plus equals time delta time. If roll progress is greater than or equal to roll duration, change state, idle. Idle, we want fall. Bonk doesn't exist, so we're not actually doing anything with bonk yet. And then we also want to pop out idle and walk, so we can add the roll to those. My roll duration is way too long right now, so put it at 0.4, see how that feels. And I think we want to put the turn speed a lot lower when we're rolling. I think we should also be able to roll from the crouch. So yeah, we'll decrease the turn speed. Sorry, Splatoon music, you're too much for today. And we'll just set it to 0.25 right now. And play character state version.turn. Rotation speed. So I think I'm gonna make it so the Y value of the input on the roll can only be positive, and we'll also decrease the X on the roll to kind of damp it a little bit. Let's see. So we'll say input vector dot y equals mathf dot clamp dot x or dot y, and then we want to clamp it between 0 and 1. So you can't roll backwards. And then we'll also say input vector dot x times equal 0.5, and we might decrease that even more. We'll just let's see. We'll call it input x damping equals 0.5, and input x damping. This is the first time I've tried doing this in one of my states, but I think this is the first case where it really made sense to do. I might also do it in the hammer spin attack state, because I still want you to be able to control like which direction you're going, but I don't want you to be able to like turn on a dime or like I kind of want you to commit a little bit to you're running and you attack, you should be moving forward when you do that. Alright, let's see. Okay, right now that input value that's getting passed in, I need to transform it so it's camera relative before I do that, I think. Gonna make a note to do that in Trello, because and I'm gonna make this one have a nice red label. So it's yelling at me, so I remember to do it. Yeah, because right now, handle input is just directly taking the input from here. So we're update state input, and we're calling that before so I think we should be passing in move direction instead of no. So move direction's a vector 3. Input vector. Move input. So where's input vector getting set? Am I... Okay, input vector is what's coming in from the state. Yeah, I'm gonna have a think about this one for a little bit. So for now, I'm just going to comment that out and then add myself a to-do. Clamp input Y and damp input X camera relative. So that's a pretty big problem with the way that my state machine is currently working. It's not going to require a total rewrite, but it is significant. and it's not something I want to do right now. I think I also need to, there needs to be a particle, and there needs to be, I think the speed needs to be higher. Let's see, right now the walk speed is 8. So right now the roll speed is only 10. So let's bump it up to like 12 so you actually get a little bit of a movement boost when you're rolling. Yeah, you should be able to go in and out of crouch from rolling. I think with the side hop and like the quick turn and some of these other things, I'm gonna kind of have a hard time getting those working before I actually tweak the way that the before I tweak the way that the input's getting passed into the states. And then I need to add a bonk state, so if you're rolling and you collide with something, then it changes you to a bonk state where you kind of fall on your butt and it shakes the camera a little bit. But like, it's another one that I don't really have an animation for, so it's kind of hard to figure out. And if you press roll while you're in the air, it needs to dive. And if you stay holding the roll button when you hit the ground, you'll transition into a roll. And I think there's gonna be multiple ways to roll. So like if you dive and then you hit crouch when you land. I'm not sure. Let's make a transition from crouch locomotion. Crouch and crouch walk both need. I need to uninstall some of that NVIDIA bloatware. Crouch walk state. And then in the roll state, let's say private or public override and crouch. Are you actually doing anything in the crouch? Right, so let's see, is crouch equals true, or equals is pressed, and then here we'll say if crouching else animation. Back into the crouching state. If we're holding the crouch button. We want crouch state. So now we should be able to crouch while we're rolling or roll while we're crouching. Some extra conditions. So these ones will both be if crouch is false, and then these ones will be crouch is true. Cool. What did I do? False. False. True. True. I guess we can say player character state machine dot set bool character animator dot set bool is crouching. In the animator, did I say crouched? Yeah, I said crouched. Sometimes being consistent is hard with your naming and stuff. So in the crouch and then crouch walk. I think, yeah, in the... I'll just reset the variable there. Yeah, I think not only are my state machines getting a little screwy, like the animations, I think there's something weird going on with so like when you enter the state, I don't think it's checking the input properly. I think it's only calling that it's only calling the handle input for the specific buttons. It's only calling that when the button state changes and not every frame. I think that's causing some issues. So I think what I need to do is, rather than the right now the state machine is just passing the event directly into the state. I think what I need to be doing is I need to be storing the state of the button into the state machine so the individual states can read the button state to see if it's changed, and doing that every frame rather than only when the button changes. For certain things I think it's okay. Like input I think changes every frame unless there's no input, like for the stick, but like for the buttons, it's mainly the buttons that need to be held that's causing the problem. It's like it transitioned me back into my crawling state, but I'm not holding the crawl button right now. And I'm not sure how that's happening. Or like I am holding the crawl button right, or the crouch button right now. So I should be, you know, when I finish that roll, I should be going into the crouch. Or like with the ground pound, like if I'm holding the crouch button at the end of the ground pound, I should go into the crouch state, not go to the idle state. So I need to add that. The not fun parts of designing a third-person action game. So I need to make a note about that. Let's see. Just put it in the description inside here. Right now, button states only get updated on press. Not every frame. So some states get stuck with old button values. I should say button value, not state. All right. And this one needs a big old red label too. So we kind of added roll. So damage and bonk are going to be very similar states to one another. And I think pickup, carry, and throw item are going to be additive animation layers. So they'll basically blend on top of whatever the upper body will blend on top of whatever the lower body is doing. So you can still run around while you're carrying something, but some of the states will change a little bit. So like your attack state while you're holding an item will throw the item, your crouch state and your roll state will drop it. And it might affect like your maximum move speed while you're holding an item, but I'm not entirely sure yet. And another reason why I need to be passing the camera relative input into the states themselves is like, for example, I want to be able to like grab that ledge, but in order to do that I need to know if the player is pressing the stick in the direction of the wall. So like, let's say I just jump. Like, I shouldn't grab the ledge if I just jump, but if I jump and I'm pressing the direction of the ledge, I should probably grab the ledge. And then like while I'm hanging onto the ledge, if I press in the direction of the ledge, I should climb up. If I press away from the ledge, I should drop. And then like, if I say I'm like here and I like fall, I should probably grab the ledge. Ledge hangs are tricky. I haven't ever programmed one, but I have a pretty good idea of how to do it. Which would basically be like, have like a, so you'd have a check to see like, am I colliding with the wall? And then, you know, you get the wall's position, and then you cast a ray down and a little bit back at a certain height above the player, or down and a little bit forward from the player to like hit the actual like ledge, and then you kind of like, you know, snap the character controller there, and then play the correct animation. And then like, you know, if you press left or right relative to the camera from the ledge, you kind of shimmy left or right. If you press jump, you like climb up on the ledge. If you press down, you fall away from the edge. And then also I need to add a bonk check, and the bonk check will be pretty simple. And I could probably just add it in the roll state to where it's just gonna like vibrate or like shake the camera. And it's basically just casting a ray forward from the player in that state, and if you hit anything while you're in that state, then you quote unquote bonk. So that should be pretty simple. So go ahead and add that. So we want so in our update state is where we want to do a ray cast. So let's see. And we'll define array. Let's see. So we want, it's a position and a direction. So the position will be transform that position. The direction is going to be, or actually we want the state machine. And then we need like a length for the ray. Actually, no, I don't like doing rays this way because there's a bunch of overrides for it. So we have an origin, a direction, max distance, layer mask. Let's see. So float max distance, origin, direction. So this is now, this is the one that we want, I think. No. So, okay, so we'll say ray transform that position, ray transform that forward. The max distance, we'll define it up here. I don't need these, and they're causing issues. Bonk check distance equals 0.25f. Alright. So bonk check distance. Query trigger interactions. Ignore. Let's see. Layer mask. And then so before the distance we want the hit. And then we'll say if hit dot let's see. We're gonna move this to a function. Bonk check. And I'll say bonk check. Hit dot actually no, we'll do if Felix.raycast. And then we can also transition to a different state from there. So we only want it to collide with default right now. And let's see. Oh yeah, I think we need the bonk check to be bigger because right now our radius is 0.5 and our bonk check distance is 0.25, so I think we need to make it 0.6. Otherwise it's never going to hit anything because it's not making it past our collider. Say 0.625, and then I am also gonna update it in here just to make sure I remember it needs to be more than the radius of the character controller. See if that worked. And yeah, we do want to offset it a little bit so it's not at ground level because it might just hit the ground. And we might also want to check. Whoa. Why is that so extreme? Let's how are we doing the, let's check the ground pound and see how we're doing it here. Yeah, we're just doing generate impulse there. No, but we might be doing it for, we're doing it a bunch of times. So we need like a cooldown on that. Let's see. What are our overrides here? We'll just say like 0.25. See if we can like damp it down, because I mean, like, we will be changing states here, so it won't happen like a bunch of times. And I guess I could just, for now, just change it to the fall state. I mean, the fall state will instantly change back to the idle state. Because we'll be grounded the first frame. But it will at least kind of illustrate that better. We'll just say generate impulse, and then we'll say player character state machine dot change state bonk state, and we'll just set it to the fall state for now. We probably also in this bonk check want to make sure that we're actually moving. Because that might have also been part of the problem. Let's see. I'll just make it fall for now. So yeah, for the roll, I definitely want it to, like, if you're currently turning, I want you to like instantly snap to the direction that you're pressing on the stick. And like you'll move forward a fixed amount, but you'll still have a little bit of control over your turn while you're in that roll. I'm gonna slow the roll animation down a little bit more and increase the amount of time in this roll duration. And actually, for the bonk, I think I'm going to have it. Let's see. So we'll say bonk is false. Exit state. We'll say bonk is false. And then here, instead of doing this if, I did not mean to open DaVinci Resolve, go away. No. We'll say bonk equals physics.raycast, and then here we'll say if bonk, and then we'll do camera shake.generate impulse, and we'll change state to our bonk state. That way, we'll get through our whole bonk animation if we bonk before we change state. And maybe I should do a box cast instead of a ray cast, because I think like with the ray cast, I don't know, it's not always hitting. Doesn't feel quite right now. I think some of it's just because the roll button doesn't move me forward, so you know, if I'm near a wall and I roll, I feel like I should bonk. And I probably should, like, this is the thing I've been thinking about. I want to have some, I'm probably gonna have to make a custom attribute for this, but I basically want to have a way of controlling like when certain transitions can happen within a certain state. So like, you know, let's say I want to be able to bonk, but I only want the bonk to transition if we're at least 50% of the way through the animation. But like maybe if we're like, you know, 99% way through the roll animation, maybe we shouldn't bonk. And right now so I might need to like do something kind of like a min-max slider. So basically, you know, I'll have like a min and a max, and then within that I'll have a second min and max that I can slide around to kind of determine like when certain things happen within the state. It would give me a lot more control over a lot of things, but also add some complexity. I don't know. I think the aerial hammer attack, I need to do something similar to what I'm doing with the ground pound, where there's like a minimum amount of time that the hammer comes out before I start falling. So there's like a little bit of a, you know, delay before I start. And maybe that needs to be based on like how far I am from the ground. I'm not entirely sure. Because if you do the hammer, like this aerial hammer attack, really close to the ground, it looks really weird. And also a similar thing, so like you can ground pound from the jump state, but you have to like make it a certain height or like a certain percentage through the jump before you can ground pound. That's how I want it to work, at least. So like the thing that I'm kind of thinking of doing is let's see, min-max slider. So something like this, where basically, you know, my minimum value is probably always going to be 0, and the max is going to be whatever. I guess the min limit and the max limit will be 0 and whatever the length of that animation's, or like the state is, and then, you know, this the flags here are basically the first frame we allow you to do that transition and the last frame we allow you to do that transition. And I feel like that's something I'm going to end up using a lot for things like, you know, turning on and off colliders and effects, stuff like that. So those min-max sliders will be useful for basically like animation canceling sort of things. Giving me control over, okay, I'll allow you to cancel out of that move if you do this input within this window. I have been learning a ton about game design and game programming while working on this project, so that's been pretty neat. Alright, I haven't been going super long today, but I'm not feeling super great right now, so I think I'm gonna call it here for today. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out. I'm Grizzhoot. I stream most weekdays here on Twitch. I stream game development, and I also have VODs available on my YouTube channel. Hopefully within the next month or so, I'll also be making some Unity and game programming tutorials over there on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow because it's my birthday. But I'll be back on Thursday. I was planning on doing an Ocarina of Time randomizer stream over the weekend, but some family stuff came up and I might not be able to. But I will I'll tweet about it beforehand if I do end up doing the stream. I still want to do the randomizer stream regardless, it just might not happen this weekend. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being awesome. Bye.